everybody, and welcome to another amazing video of DIY investing. I'm excited to break down the potential of an XRP ETF because I think that this cycle could be the first time that we're going to see that. We're going to be seeing so much adoption taking place this cycle as many different altcoins get the ETF approvals, as we see Bitcoin and Ethereum gain more adoption this cycle. I firmly believe that many of the biggest crypto winners are going to be the ones that get the ETFs. XRP is one of my favorite cryptos that I firmly believe is going to see some of the biggest adoption long term, and today I'm going to be breaking down some of the best ecosystem plays between Songbird, between Flare, and telling you guys exactly what the charts are showing us so that we can stay best prepared and positioned to capitalize on any of the momentum ahead. If you find any value, please do me a favor, leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And if you guys do want to end up seeing how I'm investing my portfolio, links are in the description to go ahead and sign up on my website. I wanted to start out with this article because I really think that now the big narrative for this cycle is going to be the ETFs. Which altcoins get the ETF approvals, and are we going to end up seeing XRP being one of those? Standard Chartered Bank actually came out and said Solana and XRP ETFs could launch in 2025. Following the approval of the spot Ethereum ETFs this week, Standard Chartered analysts have said that Solana and Ripple XRP ETFs could launch in 2025. Indeed, the bank is expecting more crypto-based ETFs to be on the way within the next year. This is really exciting because now that we're at this point of the cycle where Bitcoin is getting ready to go into a new all-time high, we're getting a massive buyback after retesting these prior all-time highs. We've seen billions of new volume coming in with Bitcoin because of its ETF. When we look at Ethereum, it had an absolutely massive breakout as well, and it's all being fueled around this ETF. I believe that Ethereum is just sitting right on support before we get that next leg up in the cycle. And if Ethereum and Bitcoin are both going into new all-time highs, I think that the greater majority of the altcoins in the market are going to be doing the same things. Now, I firmly believe that XRP is one of the best cryptos out there as far as what they're solving, as far as the adoption they already have, the head start, first movers advantage, and now with them having an entire layer 1 blockchain that new cryptos can actually build in, I don't really see a potential that this doesn't continue to get more adoption. The truth of the matter is this, guys, XRP is one of the best looking charts in the market, and I will continue to argue that all the way through, and we're right at that point of breaking out, guys. We've been just hugging this descending resistance for a long period of time. When I'm watching XRP, once we get outside of this descending resistance, it's pretty much just game over. I don't think this thing's going to have too many pullbacks. I think it's going to be, pretty much vertical price action because all of Ethereum, all of Bitcoin going into a new all-time high, that's really going to just signal all of the altcoins to just do the same thing. They don't really wait around that much. All of the accumulation has been done inside of here. We've been consolidating inside of this triangle for a long time, and we've just finally got to the point of reaching that apex. When this thing flips, we're going to see all of the profit rotate into the altcoins. When this thing flipping its resistance is an early indication that that money is rotating out of Bitcoin. It's not coincidental that all of this is happening at the exact same time. We can come down here and see in the last cycle that once all that volatility died out, and once we broke out of that short-term resistance, that was right as we got that spring-loaded bounce and pretty much just went vertical. And that's how a lot of altcoins are going to move. All of the accumulation has been done inside of this triangle. We've only ever held support from the COVID capitulation. Even when we got the lawsuit, we still held this trend line. At the bottom of the 2022 bear market, we've just been holding this support, maintaining higher highs and higher lows. This thing is not going to be waiting around much longer, and that's why I've been building a long-term leverage position inside of this, because I think that now is the opportunity. We can make a lot of profit when this thing starts to run. And this time around, we have a lot of factors fueling XRP. Now, one of the things I've been looking at is all the way down at our base cycle low. We can see that every single time the ETH BTC pair bottoms and hits this ratio, it's right at the point before we have this big pump, right? All of our range highs that we've been at over in here, I do believe that we're getting ready for another one of those. There's a lot of signs that are signaling that this is going to reverse. Us retesting this major bottom formation, this is a big picture bottom formation, right? This has been the major resistance that we've been below for a long time. There's even another shorter one right here. But regardless, we've been underneath this resistance, this horizontal resistance, for a long time. We can pull up our date tool. You know, from the peak low to where we're at today, 1,700 days that we've just been accumulating. I don't think that this is something that's just going to die. I do believe that we will go through another one of these that's coming, and it always happens once XRP breaks out of its long-term downtrend and actually starts uptrending. We had the entire lawsuit of the last cycle, and that really put a dampering on XRP, not having all of the American buyers to also help drive up the price. We can come all the way over and look at Stellar Lumens, and this is the biggest competitor of Ripple and XRP, and it almost went to its all-time high. So there is always going to be a little bit of difference, and I think that XRP would have performed better, but all of the top cryptos of that last cycle, none of them really ended up making a very big high. Some of them went into a new all-time high, but most of them didn't. So last cycle, it wasn't that euphoric. There wasn't that much retail adoption. There was a lot more fighting against crypto. There was a lot more, there was the whole entire pandemic and all of the massive inflation of those things. So we didn't see nearly the same type of price action. We didn't see nearly the same type of bullish markets. Our markets today are much more bullish, with the stock market breaking out, with everything with the ETFs fundamentally fueling prices of crypto to go higher. It's only a matter of time before the XRP ETFs get approved, and then that's when we start to see the growth across the entire sector. And when we're looking at the ETH BTC pair, this thing is early. This thing is actually signaling that reversal is going to be coming in, and I think that we're going to have another one of these very soon. All of the charts are lining up with that. We know, historically speaking, that once Bitcoin gets to that all-time high, that's right around the point that XRP starts outperforming. Now, even though XRP underperformed in the last cycle, we no longer have the lawsuit. We no longer have all of these, negativities that are going to be holding down the price. We're now going to finally get to experience what this breakout is going to mean for the price appreciation, and why I still believe that we're going to be heading upwards of $28 per XRP before the ending of this cycle. That's something I really am going to stick to, because at this point they've added an entire new ecosystem. Now, the first token I want to talk about is going to be Flare, because now there's an entire ecosystem built on XRP and Ripple, and I firmly believe that these tokens are also going to do really, really well. Now, for anybody that ended up delegating their XRP, you ended up getting a few different tokens, Songbird and Flare. Flare is the layer 1 of this network, and I think that it's setting up for some really big things. All we've done up to this point, we got added to exchanges. We made our little listing pump like many altcoins do. We made this ABC correction back down. And now all we're doing right now is making our first higher highs of the new trend. We can see that we finished our first sort of Elliott wave impulse in here, 1, 3, and 5. And then all we've done right here is just finish our ABC. We could come back down and make one more small low just to this red line, but it doesn't really change anything. I think that we're going to be reversing. And this is us reclaiming this prior level as new support. So I think that with this, it's going to be our first support and resistance flip. We're going to make the next leg up into price discovery next. And so this is going to be the layer 1 of XRP and Ripple. If we're looking at the native chain, or what I should say, the native token being XRP, getting ready to have the first big breakout since 2017, because this really is going to be the first major reversal since 2017, because all we've done is repeated this fractal. First cycle, crash. Second cycle, lower high, and then you just go sideways. And then you start the real cycle there. We're doing the same setup. There really isn't a difference here. We made the big pump here, big crash back down, lower high, trending sideways, and we're about to start that next major move. We're just repeating the exact same market cycle fractal. And so if this is going to be happening inside of the price of XRP, going to tens of billions, hundreds of billions of dollars worth of valuation, and then we're coming over here and looking at the layer 1, basically just being below its prior all-time high of its last cycle, and it's only ever had this listing pump. It's never actually had a prior cycle. I really think that the tokens built on XRP are going to be the ones that outperform, so you don't really have to go buy Ripple this time around. You don't really have to go buy XRP this time around. You don't have to focus on just the native chain token. You can actually participate in all of the new ecosystem that's being developed around it, because that's where the real opportunity is. Anybody that knows that there's a really good crypto that's going to get mainstream adoption, you should go and invest in the infrastructure being built around it, because that's where all of the money's going to participate. And usually it's more undervalued than the native chain token itself. And the problem with XRP, and the reason I don't not like it as much as other projects, is because you are going to have Ripple that's going to be selling tokens. And that's just the way that they make profit in their business model. I don't disagree with it necessarily. I just think that there could be better upside potential participating in that ecosystem through Flare and through some of these other projects that are going to be building over here. Now, last up, I want want to talk about here is going to be Songbird. This was the first token that anybody ever got inside of the ecosystem, and I think it looks really good. Now, it obviously had an absolutely massive sell-off. It got added around, not really a good time right at the beginning of that bear market, so it had all of the time to just be selling off with the rest of the market. Now, as it stands, over the last little while, we've actually completed our first impulse of this new cycle. 1, 3, and 5 waves up. And then we've just been finishing out this ABC correction right here. And I do believe that we are done with this correction. Could see a little tiny bit more downside, but really, we're reclaiming this prior level as new support. And I do think that we're going to end up holding here. Price is going to end up reversing. And then we're going to go into a really big move, potentially all the way up to like 10 cents. If we look at our Fibonacci targets, these will give us at least like a minimum target we have to hit. And this is going to be looking at, the 1618 being about 3 cents, and then the 2618 being about almost 5 cents. So I think that those are going to be our minimum targets. I'm thinking that we're going to hit at least the 2618 though. I lean towards that a little bit more. But we do have a very real potential of this thing just making a very big breakout all the way to 10 cents. These early cycles that have only ever just finished their first higher high, their first little breakout impulse, the next move coming for them is going to be really big. It's going to be the wave 3. It's going to be super impulsive. So oftentimes they go and overextend above your fib targets. Sometimes they even, go way above them entirely off the charts. For example, if we were to come all the way back up to 10 cents, it would go past all of our fib targets. So it's something to be aware of. Right now, as we're just seeing in the early stages of these higher highs, we know that XRP is really bullish. Flare and Songbird to me are the better buy opportunities because there's going to be more upside potential in those. If XRP from where we're at right now, if we were to go all the way to 28 bucks, you'd be looking at like a 51x approximately. So if XRP could 51x, imagine what the layer 1 on XRP is going to do. Probably do like 100 or 200x from here, maybe even more than that. And then if we're looking at the governance token over here, one that people already know about and have been holding, this one could easily do the same thing. I don't know for sure which are going to outperform the other, but I think that Flare has probably the best shot at outperforming just because it is its own layer 1. It hasn't had a prior cycle. Songbird I think will probably outperform the price of XRP from right where we're at right now. But this thing only having its first higher high from where we're at currently, coming all the way up to this 10 cent mark, you're looking at a 10x return. I don't know what the actual all-time high of Songbird is. We could come over here and actually look on CoinGecko, and it might tell us. We might be looking at, we're looking at this all-time high sitting all the way up at like 62 cents approximately. So just to go to the all-time high that we were at one time, you're talking 68x. So I think that these things will do that, especially if XRP is going to make a new all-time high. Like, all of the people are going to FOMO buy into these other projects because they realize that they missed out on the native chain token. So if this thing just hits its prior all-time high, 68x, like, it's already going to outperform XRP going to 28 bucks. So I think that that's the real opportunity participating in these things. I'm not so focused this cycle on the native chain tokens because a lot of them already have a lot of venture capitalists a part of them. They're going to have token unlocks. Ripple is going to be selling XRP tokens, so I mean the price appreciation won't be as high as other tokens. But I think that there's going to be so much money coming into XRP as a whole that you don't want to miss out on it. You want to consolidate your bets, not so heavily inside of just XRP, but participating inside of these other tokens and the new tokens that are going to continue to be added to the ecosystem, because that to me is always where I've made the most profit. You never always know which ones are going to outperform, which is why I say, concentrate your bet inside of the one you can bet the most on, which would obviously be XRP. But if we're looking at Flare and Songbird, giving us even bigger returns, I just don't really think that there's a scenario where we don't want to give us some exposure into these others as well, because if they're going to make us more money, I think that you're just better off doing so. Even if you don't have as much in XRP. Some people have smaller amounts of money. They're not working with the same amount of capital. They can't invest that much. And so it makes more sense not to go for something like XRP. It makes sense to go into something like Flare, go into something like Songbird, something that has a lot higher price targets because the charts look good. You know, this has a better Elliott wave structure than I would even argue what XRP has down here. The thing with XRP is it's just going to instantly go vertical like it always moves. And when that happens, these are going to do kind of the same thing. they're just going to outperform. So I really think the opportunity in XRP is going to be the ecosystem. When we're looking at all of our major charts showing big reversal patterns, with us talking about the potential of an ETF getting approved for XRP, XRP is for sure one of the very top cryptos to be getting an ETF. You know, when I think about it, like what do we have out there that's more ahead of XRP as far as getting an ETF approved? I think we could come over here, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are approved. I don't find it likely at all that BNB gets approved. Solana would be the next one in line. Then you've got XRP right here. You know, Doge, would they make a Doge ETF? I mean, maybe. It seems really weird that that would happen, but weirder things have happened, I guess. I would say out of all of these other ones, you know, you'd maybe looking at like Chainlink. So I don't see a ton of them right off the bat. I don't really see why any of the other ones would have a better advantage than XRP does, because XRP has some of the most adoption in all of the markets. So when this reversal happens, I think we're going to make a lot of money. I'm personally better positioned inside of Flare and Songbird and some of the other ecosystem plays, but to each their own. We're all going to make a lot of profit. I wanted to break down the new tokens that I haven't covered because I think that these are looking, you know, really good right now, and we're about to be setting ourselves in for a big reversal. So anyways, if you found value in this video, please guys, do me a favor, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you want to see how I'm investing my portfolio, any altcoins, buying, selling, trading, when I take profits, links are in the description to go ahead and sign up on my website. Guys, I appreciate you. I love you. I can't wait to see what the cycle does. Seeing all of these ecosystem projects about to take off, it makes me excited for XRP holders because you guys have been through it. I know that I have. And I'm looking forward to the day that we can finally realize some of these gains. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.